Hello everyone, this is Velgamers here to bring you a review for Stellar Blade. Right out of the gate, this game is something that I have not experienced before. Shift Up has created something amazing here. It's a sexy, badass thriller game full of twists and turns that keep you on your toes the moment you step out of that pod. What you have here is a game that knows its identity and knows how to do that part well. Babies with blades. And does it deliver on that with Eve, the heroine of this story, who is deadly with a blade and is able to incapacitate most of her foes. The combat is the most important part of this game. It's a mix of aggressive, high flare reaction with fast attacking speeds and paying attention to combos. You have a blade and only one blade in the game. You perform quick attacks with a square, heavy attacks with a triangle, then the most important part, L1 to parry and circle to dodge. Now parrying is going to be your bread and butter. You have to learn how to master the parry system in this game and the perfect dodge mechanic, as each one will be just as vital as the last, as you have the perfect parry and perfect dodge your way out of almost every situation. The parry system is great to some extent. First off, you have to hold the L1 and the circle button when you want to perform a perfect parry and dodge, because tapping it will only get you hit. But this is where the game can make or break a player. I find the parry and dodge mechanic to be finicky, as some of the boss's attacks are way over telegraphed and can be difficult to read. I sometimes find myself holding onto the dodge or parry button very early in some of these attacks bosses can do. Another thing to look out for are the blue, yellow, and purple rings that appear on enemies' heads. Each one is meant for a different approach. Blue is blink, which will have you dash around an opponent. Yellow is an attack that's unparryable, so you have to perfect dodge. And purple, which is a repulse, which will have you flip back and shoot an enemy's weak point. Then you have your beta charge attacks that add in new and quick attacks to your arsenal. And there are times when my attacks won't connect due to terrain, or the game will eat my inputs, causing me to get hit. After that, the combat system is great. You have combos and ways to be very aggressive against your opponent with chain attacks and reflection attacks that allow you to counter most attacks that come your way. The combat system is well refined here. With a few tweaks, it could be even better. The game itself is filled with all kinds of features like getting outfits by the dozen, all with their own unique looks and NG Plus variant looks that are available throughout this game. The game itself isn't that quite open, as it is quite linear, but it gives you open areas with a few interest points between them that are filled with suits for Eve to wear, soda cans to find, Tumblr expansion modules, body cores, beta cores, memory sticks full of mementos of what happened to the past before the world turned out the way that it did. The story involves you, Eve, an airborne squad member sent from the heavens to stop an abominable, monster-filled Natiba post-apocalyptic world. Natibas are these many monsters that you are up against. Each Natiba is this nastiest last, with her own moveset for each creature. You follow Eve as she discovers what Earth is, or was like, before the collapse of civilization. Then, when things got bad, the surviving race went to the colony under the protection of the Mother Sphere, who sent the airborne squad members, also known as angels, to Earth to eliminate the Natibas. After that, the story gets pretty weak. There is not much to grip you, as you are sent from the one location to the next in hopes of stopping the Natibas. The story isn't bad. There is a story here. It's just you, Eve, going through the world, going from boss to boss, and trying to get these hypercells and alpha cores from alpha Natibas. After that, there's not much more to it. The story ends on a cliffhanger, which might prompt for a sequel to be made, but as of now, the story isn't a very in-depth one. The game itself is shorter than I expected, which isn't a bad thing, but it leaves a lot much more to be desired. Also, the point of no return is in the middle of the game, so be sure to get all the suits, otherwise you will have to miss out on variable suits that you can only unlock through certain side quests. In total, you have 19 bosses to contend with. all with their own unique combos and attacks you have to pay attention to. The bosses' design are amazing. They are intimidating, big, fast, and dangerous. They are great bosses that you will have to learn how to parry and perfect dodge. There is no excuse around that rule. I think that this is some of the best boss design in any game of this nature. They are hard, they are punishing, and they will push you, especially in late game, where the combos are much more fast and varied. With attacks, you have to dodge perfectly, otherwise you will be punished. Each boss is well designed, they are amazing to look at, and the soundtrack behind each one of them is unique and just as headbanging as the last. Raiden's OST is probably my favorite OST out of the game. The upgrade system itself isn't that in depth. You have weapon cores to upgrade your damage, body cores to upgrade your health, beta cores to upgrade your beta energy, and tumbler expansion modules to upgrade the amount of heals you have in the game. The only thing that is in depth is the skills that you can unlock by using SP points, which are your experience points in the game. The tree is a wide web of attacks and attributes that you can unlock throughout your playthrough. Another great system is your gear and exospine system. These are added components that increase your attack power, how much damage you can take, or how much your beta energy charges. Each exospine adds another variant to what you can do, like increasing your parry and dodge range. You rest at these areas known as camps, your central bonfires that is varied throughout each level. Now this is something that really bothered me when playing this game. You do get noticeably stronger throughout the game when it comes to beta and health. As for damage though, you will feel no real increase in damage throughout your playthrough. The first boss will feel just as tanky as the last boss in this game. There is no real progression, or none that I can feel, as the damage output will feel like a steady incline in damage. It isn't a bad thing, but I find it to make each upgrade to be hollow, as you just level your health to tank boss attacks more, or get tumbler cores to heal more, and damage. The one thing that doesn't progress at all and doesn't make a difference. I don't want to be melting bosses, but I want to be able to see some steady progression when that is noticeable. In conclusion, the game is a great game that is filled with incredible outfits for Eve to wear. You can change your hair and do side quests that are quite intriguing, to say the least. The combat is well designed for aggression and is flashy with speed. The story leaves a lot much more to be desired and could use some work to make it more exciting as you progress from hypercell to hypercell with only bosses as a highlight between each moment. The gameplay is what makes this game, but it can be hard to read certain moves and the game can eat your inputs sometimes. The bosses are well designed and each one serves its purpose as a challenging boss fight. Other than that, you have a well crafted game that will entertain you for hours. That's why, in my final score, I'm going to celebrate a very strong 8 Bitcoins out of 10. Thank you so much for clicking and watching my video. Like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye!